Zimbabwe, speaking on behalf of Southern African countries. And I would like to urge you to keep your comments, please, to within 5 or 4 minutes so that we try to finish the list up as soon as possible. Zimbabwe, my brother, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. We'll try. I would like to commence our co-chair by taking this opportunity to wish everyone here, my delegation, sincere best wishes for the new year. And we hope that 2014 will be a fruitful one in terms of our work. I have the honor to deliver this statement on behalf of the 10 Southern African countries, namely Angola, Botswana, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Swaziland, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. I also align this statement to those statements delivered by Fiji on behalf of the Group of 77 and China, as well as by Ghana on behalf of the African Group. Co-chairs, sustainable cities are the engines of economic growth, and on this basis, Southern African countries will wish to confirm their firm commitment to building sustainable cities and addressing challenges arising from rapid urbanization. The rate of urbanization in Southern Africa is estimated at 6% per annum, and the current levels of population concentration in major cities have outstripped the capacity of respective national governments and local authorities to provide for the basic infrastructural services. This situation is exacerbated by a lack of policy coherence regarding rural-urban integration, as well as a lack of systematic classification of urban and lower-tier settlements. Consequently, human settlement development strategies do not provide facilitation incentives that discourage primate cities and encourage the development of intermediate settlement hierarchies. For us, sustainable cities must embrace economic, social, and environmental indicators such as reliable clean water and sanitation services, efficient and affordable renewable energy sources, public transportation, public safety, decent and affordable housing, education, health care, recreational and waste management infrastructure, as well as promotion of livelihood opportunities for city dwellers. Co-chairs, while sustainable cities, as I said, are engines of economic growth, we fully understand that the building of such cities is a daunting task, especially in view of the rampant urbanization currently going on, growing population sizes, and the fragile economic systems we currently have. We believe that building sustainable cities as well as addressing problems of sprawling urbanization cannot be done by governments alone, since it requires large amounts of capital, exceptional management skills, and technology. In view of this, we urge all stakeholders, including private sector and the development partners, to join hands in building sustainable cities. These partners' support is much needed in funding new and innovative infrastructure and property development schemes in our cities. Co-chair, Southern African countries are deeply concerned about the problems of unsustainable human settlements that are characterized by largely by mushrooming of urban informal human settlements and slum developments, which have negative pressure on infrastructure and social amenities. We are equally concerned with urban development that allows for agglomeration of loosely connected land uses, which are based on suboptimal land utilization standards. This gives rise to a disconnect between places of residence and employment with places of supply of higher order goods and services. This notwithstanding, we are fully committed to building the sustainable human settlements with adequate and efficient social amenities and physical infrastructure. And in doing so, we are open to partnerships with all stakeholders, especially, as I said, the private sector. Co-chair, an urban transportation system that is safe, clean, reliable, and affordable is key to the long-term sustainable development of cities. In order to address urban traffic congestion, cities in our region are committed to stepping up the role of well-planned mass bus and rail transit systems that are sustainable. We therefore urge international financing institutions and other development partners to fund cities to develop sustainable transportation projects and initiatives of their choice. It has been observed that sustainable production and consumption patterns are an overriding objective and an essential requirement for sustainable development. Southern African countries are deeply concerned that the current unsustainable production and consumption patterns threaten the planet's ability to sustain human life. While we fully understand the population-environment nexus, we are of the view that the planet's carrying capacity is not affected only by population factors, but also by systems of production and consumption that are not inclusive, sustainable, and environmentally sound. We therefore call for the full implementation of the 10-year framework of program to support sustainable consumption and production patterns as outlined in the Jobbik Plan of Action and implementation. We also stress the need to promote sustainable consumption and production patterns that contribute to sustainable economic growth, poverty reduction, and environmental protection in developing countries. Co-chairs, environmental challenges and social conditions such as waste management, pollution, loss of biodiversity, land degradation, as well as inadequate access to clean water and sanitation services continue to undermine socio-economic development efforts in our region. This notwithstanding, Southern African countries are committed to fostering the sound environmental use of domestic and industrial chemicals and waste in support of their sustainable development objectives. However, our efforts towards sustainable waste management are being constrained, of course, by a multitude of problems such as high volumes of households and industrial waste, high costs of waste management, lack of proper disposal technologies, as well as inadequate manpower and equipment. Waste management authorities in our regions require stronger capacity building support in order to enhance their capacities in household and industrial and chemical waste collection and disposal. We also call upon developing partners to help our city councils to mobilize financial and technical resources towards building of modern waste management infrastructure systems in our region. Co-chair, climate change and disasters pose a real threat to sustainable development as well as efforts to eradicate poverty and promote prosperity. In view of this, we stress the need for the SDGs to pay utmost attention to climate change. In particular, we call upon industrialized countries and development partners to fulfill all their commitments to support climate mitigation and adaptation activities of the poor countries. We also underscore the importance of enhancing transparency with regards to the fulfillment of the climate mitigation and adaptation finance pledges by industrialized countries. Also critical is the need to restore trust in future climate negotiations. Southern African countries would like to reiterate that the United Nations Conference for Climate Change must remain the primary international and intergovernmental forum for negotiating global responses to climate change. Southern African countries, as I said, Mr. Chair, have disaster risk management strategies at both national and sub-regional level. We appeal to development partners to strengthen the implementation of these disaster risk management strategies. Support is also needed for the development of disaster risk information and early warning systems within and across the region. Lastly, we urge development partners to complement our national budgets for disaster risk management. In conclusion, Chair, Southern African countries remain committed to building sustainable cities that can serve the planet and all its inhabitants, as well as promote environmentally sound economic growth. I thank you.
I thank the Director General from Capital, speaking on behalf of Zimbabwe and, on behalf of the Southern African countries.